presenting Wurfel, which is our 68th of the 100 opportunities for 2021. So, Wurfel is one of the revolutionary brand in the modular kitchen and home interior industry. And their journey has started with the pursuit of excellence to create timeless modular kitchen that expanded to complete home interiors as well. It believes in creating homes that make a statement and promote healthy living. So, in order to understand more about the brand and what it offers to our franchisee partner, we have with us today Mr. Emeka, who comes with an experience of 10 plus years in both media and modular kitchen industry. And he's currently heading the expansion at India's biggest modular kitchen brand, Wurfel. So thank you, Emeka, for joining with us today in this session. So please help our audience understand more about yourself and how your journey started with Wurfel. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Kritika. I appreciate it. So yes, I come with 10 years of experience in both media as well as modular kitchen industry. However, I've always been with the company since the inception, since the beginning. So I've seen the company grow from a baby to being one of the biggest modular kitchen brands in India at the moment. So we are seeing a very steady and a very organic growth, in our industry. And we've seen lots of challenges. Of course, it's a new company coming out to becoming a company which is very stable. So when you when you think about Waffle, the idea was to bring a top end, or to be able to produce top end European products for our customers. So
Right.
the whole idea of, when you did a research in the market, we understood what kind of industry this is. The modular kitchen industry is one of the fastest growing industries in India.
Right.
And, we noticed most of this market was mostly unorganized. So you had 80% of the market that was dominated by carpenters. And the remaining 20% was left towards the more organized brands, right? So in this 20%, it was further broken down into two. You had the local players, and then you had the international players. So the local players would give you a good price, but the quality is not the best, whereas the international players would give you good quality, but the price is very high. So, we noticed there's a big gap in this industry when it comes to quality and pricing. So the customer might not know what they're actually paying for, So that's where we come in as a company. We import every raw material, from the boards to the screws, from top vendors across Europe, right? So when we import them and we transport them here, we have 100,000 square feet of space here in Bangalore where we do our production. So when we import the materials here, we save on the cost of transportation, and we also save on the cost of labor, because European labor cost is very high, right? So that
Right.
way we are able to give our customer a top end European product at a very good price. So that's where we come into the market, right? So if you have to compare us price wise, we are about 5 to 15% higher than the carpenters, and we are about 30 to 40% lesser in cost compared to the European brands.
Got it. Understood. And you have seen, like, because India is an emerging market, like all the sectors are growing. So how did you see that long-term growth in an Indian market, and how this concept of like what are the strengths, basically USPs that you plan to offer to the franchisee partner that you get associated with?
Absolutely. So if you think about it, why franchising? When you think about franchising, you're talking about having an already established brand, right? Where the entire support system has been built from scratch, and where it's a proven and is a proven track record. There's a proven track record of excellent support, right? So the brand is established. Why you have to thought it first of all. Why you want a franchise, right? So you want a franchise because you might be moving out from maybe a regular 9 to 5 job. You want to jump into business. Franchising is a great opportunity. Apart from that, you could look at franchising as setting up your own company, but you don't have the time to focus on either production or sales aspect of your company. So that is why you go for a franchise. So franchise, you already have an established brand, and with us, the brand name is already well known in the market as India's biggest modular kitchen brand. Now, the hand holding process, right from the setup of the studio, we will be there. We have a team that would set up the studio, will help you set up the studio. We also have another team that helps with the day-to-day operations of the business. So that is sales or operations or anything of that sort. Apart from that, all research and development is done in-house. So from we as a company, we always look at constant innovations. How can we do better in this space? So that is why our sole focus is to focus only on production and innovation. So we keep on releasing new trends and new innovations in this space. If you see on our website, we have good range of exclusive kitchens, which before any other Indian brand does that, it will take maybe 10 years for them to do that.
Right. So since you have mentioned about, hand holding and setting up and doing all the research, what if the customer, like, based on the locations that you're planning to target and open, and that location has certain specific type of requirements. So do you customize your products based on the end customer's requirement, and help the franchisees, help out with the end customers as well, or how is it?
Absolutely. So when you think about it, if you um, want to be able to scale up a brand to a bigger level, the business model should be trainable, right? So the entire setup and the whole running of the business. So we have a design software, which we would train the design team in the studios to be able to do 3D renders and give estimates to our customers directly on the spot, right? Apart from that, as I said, there's a hand-holding process, and I
Mhm.
just wanted to point out on the screen, because there's an introduction to modular kitchen, right? So
Yeah.
the modular kitchen, as I mentioned, the modular kitchen industry, as I mentioned earlier on, is one of the fastest growing industries. So we
Mhm.
see a growth rate of 40% every year, year on year. So
Yeah.
making it one of the fastest growing industries in India. And we see
Mhm.
that if you think about it, back in the day, our parents would have maybe vertical slabs and then one
Mhm.
horizontal slab in the kitchen, and they call that a kitchen. Right? Whereas now these days you have the young generation who have gone outside, who have seen the Western world, and trying to
Mhm.
bring in more European designs and more modular concepts into the country. So that is why this trend is gradually moving out, and you're seeing more organized brands, and you're seeing this industry growing.
Mhm. Right. So, would want to understand, what is that key differentiating factor? Like you said that, India as a market also has a lot of like individual players who are working in this particular sector and industry. So, what is that one key differentiating factor that you offer to the Indian customers through Wurfel?
Yes, yes. So when you think about it, it's
Mhm.
great quality at great price, right? We've seen, although our products are European based, however,
Mhm.
these products have been customized to suit the Indian homes. Like if you talk about base cabinets for kitchens, right? In Europe,
Mhm.
the usual height is around 900 in height. However, because we realize in India, people are a little bit shorter than that. So we reduced the base cabinets to 720 in height to,
Mhm.
to make, what do you say, integrate it with the Indian market, right? So apart from that, all the raw materials are, procured from top vendors across Europe. So by the time the materials come here, they are, what a customer gets is a top end quality product at a
Mhm.
very good price.
Right, right. So I hope all the business seekers, are getting the message about what Wurfel is about, and what it holds to offer to the franchisee partners and business seekers. And I want you all to drop your questions in the comment section through whichever platform that you're connected in, so that we can address it during this session. So yes, as we know that there are a couple of competitors apart from the like there are some well-known brands in this sector like Hacker, Veneta, and not it. So how would you differentiate yourself in that competition, as they're also offering quality products and at a competitive price in the market? So what is that one factor that, and how would you place yourself in that competition?
Great, great. I mean, these are very good brand names, and we have nothing but good things to say about them. However, when you think about the same quality of material, source the same quality of materials from the same vendor list. We have the same vendor list. So we're talking of the boards to the screws. The one key factor here would be pricing, right? Because these brands, as shown on your screen, the production happens in Europe. So by the time it gets here, the price is much higher, right? Whereas with us, when we transfer the raw materials from Europe and bring them to India, we're able to cut down the cost on transportation as well as European labor costs, right? So that way, we are about 30 to 40% lesser in cost with the same quality of materials. And then apart from that, you also have delivery timelines. We have a production time of 30 and 45 days.
Mhm.
Whereas The other brands would have starting from 90 days onwards. So that's the difference.
Right. So you save on basically the delivery period of time, and you make sure that all the products and raw materials are available before the
Absolutely.
estimated time which has been given to the franchisee partner.
Absolutely.
That's great, I think, and I hope the business viewers are getting this message. So definitely one of the most important question any franchisee partner, will move to the next slide, would definitely have is that whether they are fit to take up the franchisee or not. They often have this question, do they need to
Okay.
have any sort of skill set or any specific background or education which has been required to opt for a franchisee, and also like the time period they get associated with Wurfel once they sign up for a franchisee.
Yes. So
Yes.
to answer the first question, when we
Mhm.
look at our prospective partners, I mean, we
Right.
are not traditional in the way where we look for people who, say they have this amount of bank account, or we look at people who have the same wavelength, who matches the same wavelength as us.
Mhm.
We are a company that started out in 2015, and we're growing at a very rapid pace. So how we're able to do that is because we have young, energetic, and passionate people working for the brand, right? So we are always on the lookout for passionate individuals. Now, when you talk about profile, the ideal profile would be perhaps interior designers, architects, builders. These would be
Mhm.
our profiles, and definitely this would help move, or rather streamline the business. Although or as in our on our list, we have people who come from the IT industry, who are programmers, but they're able
Mhm.
to come into our system and work on sales and general operations because the business model is very trainable.
Mhm. Understood. So specifically, people who are passionate, that is definitely required to run any sort of business. You need to be passionate and self-driven to run a
Ethics
business.
as well.
Whereas
Ethics.
yes, and yes, ethics as well. And definitely, if coming from an IT background is a plus point and advantage, as you would be able to understand all the technicalities which goes under it. So, and what is the timeline? Like, how much do they need to invest once they get associated with as a franchisee partner? Like on a day-to-day basis, if we say of operations, how much do they need to invest?
Uh, it is, this is the kind of business and industry where
Mhm.
your dedication is required. It's a kind of business where you can do 1.5 crores and you can do 20 crores as well from the same space of studio. So the amount of time equates to the amount of revenue you generate from the studio. So the more time you put into it, the more volumes you see. And we always want partners who are ready to put in that time and effort into the studio.
Definitely, definitely. So, to all the business seekers, I think once who are going through this, and we have also got the message. One user has shared the contact number, so we'll definitely be getting in touch with you. If you have any specific queries or questions, please write your message in the comment section or get in touch with us. We'll be addressing all those queries. And like we have discussed, that what kind of skill set and the timeline that you would be getting associated. Yes, this is also one of the most important slide, as they would want to understand, what are the key strengths once they get associated over here. So as we know that, uh, like we were speaking about, the delivery time period is cut and the quality is maintained compared to the other competitors which are there. So there are other points also that we see. Emeka, if you can elaborate on these points.
Yes, absolutely. So, the first point being the best of Europe. When you think about the raw materials, it's not because we're just procuring them in Europe. We select
Right.
the top three vendors in the world, and then we select from them. So we make sure whatever latest technology and latest trends in the world of modular kitchen, we try to bring it into the Indian space immediately. At the same time that is launched in Europe, we bring it here to India. So best of Europe, right? Then we talk about
Mhm.
warranty period. We have up to 10 years warranty on the boards, and with the hardware, it's lifetime warranty on the hardware. Now, we also have a delivery time from 30 days. That's a production time for us. Apart from that, we are also an eco-friendly brand. So, the whole world moving onto a greener environment, and trying to reduce our carbon footprint. You see here that being eco-friendly is at the top of the company's priorities. So all
Mhm.
the boards that we get, we make sure no trees are being harmed when making these boards, right? So no trees are cut. We always recycle
Mhm.
materials to get the boards we have. So precision in every we're talking about, when you have say for example you take glass, right? You're trying to cut
Mhm.
a glass. Anyone who is cutting a glass would have a tolerance level of 2 mm, whereas with us, our machines, while cutting the boards, there's a tolerance level of 0.5 mm, so which is very precise, so because we use German machines. Now apart from this, we also have an after sales service, where we have a 1-800 number where our customers can call if they have any problem, and the issues get addressed in 48 hours.
Wow, super. So, yeah, definitely, like all the business seekers who have joined in would be able to understand the kind of support and services that the brand is providing, Wurfel is providing. And definitely, we would be ready to take up the questions and queries that you have in the similar regards. So, we'll move to the next slide, wherein I think this is one of the most important slide for our business seekers, because moving ahead, they would definitely have this question that, how much should I invest, or how much is the investment required? What is the payback? By how soon can I start earning? How soon can they start earning once they invest in? So we have couple of different models. There are three models that we'll be addressing and discussing in the upcoming slide. We'll move to the next slide, wherein we want to understand, the models are structured based on tier one, tier two, and tier three cities. So we would want to understand from you, Emeka, what is the
Yes, yes,
investment and all the financial aspect of it that franchising should.
absolutely. Absolutely, Kritika. So when you think about it, we based our models, our commercials based on different tiers in in the country. So for major cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, they all fall under the tier one category. So a tier one category basically means how big the economical strength of that city is, right? So
Mhm.
with its bigger strength and bigger spending capacity of the city, we are able to, at least the model should be in a more elaborate manner. So a space that would be required for a tier one city would be around a minimum of 1,500 square feet. Right? From in a space of 1,500 square feet, we can display at least 4 kitchens and 3 wardrobes. And it will be like a complete experience center for the customer. Right? So this would range anywhere between 36 to 40 lakhs. And the margins for this would also be 38.86 on the products and 32.20 on the accessories. Now, if we go on to the next one, which is a tier two city, it's relatively lesser because the space is much smaller. So we're talking about a minimum space of 1,200 square feet, where we would have maybe 3 kitchens and 1 big wardrobe on display. So it should
Correct.
range between 28 to 30 lakhs, and the margins would remain the same as well.
Okay.
And then it's the same thing with a tier three city as well. The same model. If you could move on to the next slide.
Yes, we'll move to the next slide. Yeah. Over here, then again, setup is on a bit smaller scale.
It's a bit smaller scale, yes.
Mhm.
So
Right.
it's the same franchise margins on all three.
Right. So, how much time, like approximately, does it take? Like, once you get associated with the franchisee, they've signed up the agreement. So, what is the duration of when they can start their showroom and they start their outlet?
Yes. So, finalizing the space is very important for us, right? So we make sure we get the right space, right? So
Hmm.
once we get this right space, it takes from the designing of the studio, because we hire architects in-house who would help
Hmm.
you with the design, or who would help the potential partners with the design. So they design the space of the interiors, and we also design the products and make sure we create the whole experience for the customers when they come in. So this process should take around 3 to 4 months, including production of the display as well. So the production, the setup of the studio should take around 3 to 4 months.
Okay, and supposedly that a business seeker has a location or has a property, or has a property in mind that he would want to start off the franchising. So, do you take into consideration the location which is already available, or your team helps and support in terms of looking and searching for the location? How does that happen? Since location is a key important factor
Yes.
starting of the showroom.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, if they do have a space, an existing space, we are
Mm.
very open to looking at that space and seeing
Mm.
if it associates with what we're looking at. So
Right.
it all depends. If we also have a studio approval teams, they check out the location, they check out the space to make sure everything is fine. And if everything is okay, we move forward. So there is flexibility in that.
Understood. Understood. And any specific like ROI or payback, since the investment structure is a slightly different for all the your cities that we spoke about. So, what is the payback period under this? Like, at least they start earning the ROI. Any estimated number that you would want to give, or any estimated month that they would start, earning or start achieving their goals? Yeah.
Absolutely. So when you think about it, you know, the whole breakdown of these commercials. I mean, perhaps after this webinar of ours, we
Yeah.
can, go more in people who are very interested in this. We can go in depth about the commercials, what kind of ROI. But
Mhm.
just to give you an understanding, it should take anywhere from 15 to 18 months from the date of launch.
Got it. 15 to 18 months is the timeline of when they can start achieving. Understood.
Yes,
So I think we have addressed all the financial models which is there. We'll quickly move to the success stories. I think this slide gives a very positive message to our business seekers. They would be interested to know, like, firstly, they would want to understand the outlets which are there, how have they been performing, and then only that gives them a confidence to start with the new outlet. So
absolutely.
we see a couple of names over here of different locations that you have already have franchisees running. So I want you to talk about a couple of success stories of some of the outlets based out in India, and how have they been performing so far, and how they have been able to achieve their revenue and a targeted revenue which has been given. So
Absolutely. So if you see, we in the beginning in 2015, we started out with 5 studios, and that was in the beginning when we were trying to make our name. So 5 studios in Bangalore, especially. If you see Bangalore, we currently have 8 studios, and
it's
Bangalore is considered the mother of Wurfel. This is the home base of Wurfel, right? So the success stories come in. I honestly, it's more of a family relationship that we have. The whole partnership. When we meet prospective partners, we connect with people who are on the same wavelength with us. We build relationships that last a lifetime. So we're talking, it's not just business. It's not I mean, business is important, but
right.
if you see that most of the studios you have here, you have existing studio partners opening up more locations in other cities. So the count of new studios partner coming in is very less compared to the existing partners who are opening up studios elsewhere. So they've seen already, and I'll also owe this to us being considered the best modular kitchen brand in India. So we've won by the Times Group. We've won about 4 awards so far with the Times Group: 2019, 18, 19, 20, and 2020, 2021. So we've been considered the best modular kitchen brand in the industry, and that is why we've been able to grow organically. Apart from this, we've also been considered, we've been awarded by the Indian Kitchen Congress as the most innovative kitchen brand, because we keep on bringing out new innovations in this industry. For us, it's not about selling a kitchen, it's about making a difference in this space. We want to open up and take an Indian brand out of India onto the global map. So we constantly bring out new innovations in this industry and space.
Definitely. And when you say that your existing franchisee partners opening up the additional outlet in this, I think that speaks a lot about the brand and what kind of experience they're having with the brand. So
Of
that
course.
gives a lot of message. And we have one person I would just like to address, Karthik KNR. He has joined with us. He has shared his number. Thank you,
Hi,
Karthik,
Karthik.
sharing your contact details. We will surely get in touch with you and we'll brief you on this model. So yes, again, what leverages can a franchisee partner avail after getting associated with Wurfel is what we would want to understand through this. Yes, Emeka.
Absolutely, Kritika. So when you talk about automated, first point here would be automated operations. So we have a CRM software which is developed in-house, right? So this tracks the life cycle of a client from the day they walk into the studio till the day their product is being dispatched and installed in their house. So this, imagine if you as a prospective partner, you have 100, 200, 300 customers in a month. It becomes crazy to manage everything. Right? So automated system, which at one click of a button, you can know where the status of one customer is, if the order is in production, where in production, all of those things. And you're talking about us, the next point being the best kitchen brand. As I said, we've already been awarded the best modular kitchen brand for 4 years in a row consecutively. So we're also ethical and transparent. This is one of the key fundamentals of the company.
Mm.
We are very ethical and transparent. If a customer has any doubts with regards or doubts or concerns about their pricing with any studio, they can go on our website and validate their pricing. That is how clear we are. You know, then we talk about a complete support system, from sales to operations to everything.
Mm.
So we have a complete setup. We have a team, we have regional managers, we have business development managers who would assist the studio, and
Mm.
also no inventory. So the other benefit of this industry and this business is, everything is all stocked in our factory. It's all made to order. So once the client wants something, they
Mm.
place the order and it gets delivered to their house. So there's no inventory. And you talk about being innovative. We always bring out new ideas in this industry. Once you have time, you should visit our website, www.waffle.in. We have exclusive range of kitchens where, you
Mm.
know, it's something that has never been done in India before. So we always look at constant innovation. And then the next point is we are already an established brand, you know, with over 40 studios across the country with a proven successful business model.
Mhm.
Great quality at great price, as I said, top quality European products at a very good price in India.
Right. So I would have one question over here that, when you say of sales, so do you help and support your franchisee partner, with the leads and sales that they would require to start their, operation in their specific location? How do you support your franchisees in this aspect?
So when it comes to sales, we have four main modes of sales. Now,
Mhm.
as a company, or as a retail studio, you would have your walk-in sales. You would also have B2B sales, which is your
Mhm.
architect referrals or your interior designers. Then
Yeah.
the third would be online sales. Now, I
Mhm.
don't know about any other company, but we as a company, we make sure it's our responsibility to help our partners succeed. So, in the beginning, we spend a lot on digital marketing campaigns, and we
Mhm.
assure our partners anywhere from 25 to 50 leads, online leads every month from our side as a company. So on the sales front, we do help out on the sales front, although
Mhm.
it is not in our scope to do sales, but we want our studios to perform. Apart from that, we also have another point, which is project sales. We're talking
Mhm.
of 100 units, 500 units from big builders, so we
Mhm.
give our studio partners project rights on this.
Right. So, speaking of digital promotion, does it happen to all the respective locations to which
Absolutely.
they're opening the outlet, or is it like a one source through which different franchisees partners can avail the leads?
No, it's we do this to individual studios. So
Mm.
we don't hold
Mm.
anything back. Right from the launch of the studio, we actively start our digital promotions, for studios.
Right, perfect. So definitely, like all the business seekers have heard the kind of support which has been provided, and definitely there has been advantage of uh, associating based on the kind of global brand it is, and as we have discussed about the success stories as well, we'll take a couple of questions from the business seekers' point of view. That what they would definitely have. So since when the business has started and since when you started expanding in India also. So
Mhm.
how long did it take, to establish that franchise network to, how long did it take to stabilize that to move ahead with the franchisee expansion? Because there has been a lot of, operation and delivery and other things to take care at the back end. So um, I want your views on this, Emeka.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, how did we start? As I said in the beginning, the idea was born and initiated in 2012. With providing Indian homes with top-end European products at very good price. Because, as I said in the past, the kind
Mhm.
of quality of materials you have, it's very different, right? So we wanted to improve the quality of, at least where people cook food. It's very important. The quality of, drawers, the quality of hinge doors, everything was very important for us. So we started out in 2012. We did lots of research, lots of development. We set up our factory in 2014, and we officially launched in 2015, November. And when we launched immediately with 5 studios. So we started franchising from the get-go, because the business model of ours is very simple. We it's a franchise owned, franchise operated 4-4 model. Right? So we as a company, we focus on production and innovation, and our partners focus on sales and service. So that is how we've distributed the work. So immediately when we launched in 2015, we started out with 5 studios directly, and now we are at 40 studios across the country.
Understood, understood. So I think that gives a very good message, that when you started the manufacturing, you already started with 5 outlets at the initial
Yes.
stage only. So
Yes.
definitely now it's been growing since then, and definitely they're looking to associate with more franchisee partners. So we'll be getting in touch with you, to all those business seekers who are interested in. We'll move to the next slide, wherein we would also want to understand that how much is the working capital needed, as a part of the total investment to start off with this franchise.
Yeah. So when you think about, first of all, although it's a franchise, yes, but apart from the franchise costs and the products and the setup, you also need to think about, the running cost of the studio,
Yeah.
right? It's very important when you consider the rentals, when you consider the overheads, the maintenance of the studio. So you can look at anywhere around 2 lakhs to 2.5 lakhs of regular maintenance. So at least a prospective partner, apart from the initial investment of 36 to 40 lakhs, they should also have running expenses, of at least 2.9 lakhs every month, to sustain the business. And this is also in ratio with the kind of sales, so we've seen our partners break even in 6 months as well, so there's so much potential in the business. And yes, there should always be at least for 15 to 18 months, you should always have running capital kept on the side.
Right, right. Understood, understood. So definitely around approximately, like we discussed, that there has to be running capital of 2.9 every month to sustain and survive. But ultimately, it depends on the sales also that particular outlet is able to achieve in the targeted months.
Yes, just to
So
mention also what kind of sales. On a pessimistic side, we are looking at 25 lakhs business every month on a pessimistic side.
great, great. So I think, and also, like, do you help the franchisee partners in the recruitment, staffing, like whatever support is required on that front to run up the outlet?
Absolutely. Although what do you say? The staff would be on the payroll of the partner. However, we
Mhm.
will help them with the whole onboarding process. So looking out for great talent in the market.
Mhm.
Training those talents. Making them understand our product, how to talk waffle, how to design waffle. Things like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, the whole setup is there.
Definitely. Great, great. So we'll move to the next slide, wherein that's our last slide, wherein we want to understand. We know that from last year to this year, there has been COVID and pandemic. Everything was shut. So how have the stores been performing during these times, and how you're able to, like, what is that one major challenge that most of the stores were facing, and how did you help them overcome that challenge? Because we know that all the sectors were impacted because of pandemic. So how was your experience handling the franchisee partners in
So I'll just say, for the first 3 months of the lockdown, people
there?
were scared, people were
Yeah.
terrified, people were thinking the world was going to end.
Mhm.
So you can imagine at that time,
Yeah.
we did not know what to do. However, in that 3 months, we were able to, we set up lots of training in our teams.
Mhm.
We started off with the sales team, we started giving them more training, we started with the design team, more training on the products. We made sure by the time everything was open, we are ready to go. We will make sure our staff was the first step. Then the second step, when immediately the market opened after 3 months, you see that not many people were comfortable coming out of their houses,
Mhm.
right? So we started out more Zoom presentations, closing clients digitally.
Mhm.
But the request and the demand, people still had to get their homes done. That is something that our industry, thank God, it wasn't affected like that.
Mhm.
Um, we had people who had already purchased houses and needed to move in, so there was no stopping that at all. But I'll tell you what, with the whole thing that happened with China, we're looking
Mhm.
at, with furniture especially, lots of people, architects, interior designers, always go to China to buy things. But after the pandemic, that reversal happened, and it was make in India that was selling. So we had lots of architects, lots of interior designers, people flocking to us. And you won't believe, in the year 2020, we did the best retail sales we've ever done in the company since the inception. So, yes,
I mean, the
that's
time was well utilized. Those 3 months were well utilized to train all the individuals in the organization so that ready when the market is open,
yes,
to make
absolutely,
this thing
absolutely.
happen. Definitely, and because most of the companies were moving towards an online platform, and there were different sources, so we wanted to understand like how these franchises went through, and definitely there has been growth. Like Emeka said, it was a huge success in 2020 also.
Yes.
And yes, so we have covered all the questions from the business seekers point of view. We'll take
Hmm.
up the questions. So if you have all the business seekers who have joined with us, would definitely want to understand what all queries and questions do you have, and to the numbers which has been shared with us, our team will definitely get in touch with you, and we'll discuss on all the aspects. So one more question, that we wanted to understand, that over here, see, there are a lot of competitors, individual, like we was talking about, individual players are also there in this
Hmm.
particular industry,
Hmm.
and they're coming up with new ideas and concepts
Hmm.
on a day-to-day basis. So when you say you're targeting tier two, like tier one, I understand there's a competitive market, and definitely there's a huge I mean area to grow also. So,
Hmm.
but how did you see the growth in tier two and tier three, especially tier three cities? What we would want to understand, since you're open for that location.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
So yes, so you, as I said, the
Mm.
main concept here is the
Mm.
change in this industry. I
Right.
was talking earlier on about the growth rate of 40% year on, from
Right.
being from people choosing carpenters to people moving on to more modular kitchen brands, right? So when you talk about the growth, I think I'm sorry, could you just rephrase that again,
Yes,
Kritika?
yes. So, like in tier two, tier three cities, also in tier one cities, like tier
Mhm.
one is more competitive compared to the other tier cities
Yes,
that we
yes.
focus. But usually we see that these cities have their individual, carpenters, or they have their own people to
Hmm.
whom
Hmm.
they're associated already, and they're getting their furnitures done from them,
Hmm.
even the customized one. So,
Hmm.
how would you, target those locations? Because price is one of the key factors also for that
Yes,
location.
yes, yes. I got it. I got it. So when
Because
you
if
talk
they
about,
have, yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes, please go ahead.
So when you talk about, see, the most important thing, yes, I was saying, I chilled out earlier on, but you talk
Mm.
about people moving in from carpenters. So now the spending capacity has also increased even in tier three cities. When you
Mm.
talk about pricing, we are not so far off from the carpenters. We
Mm.
start at 1.5, or rather, the carpenters will start around 90,000, 1.5,
Yeah.
2 lakhs. These days, that's how it is for carpenters.
Yeah.
Whereas our kitchens, the starting range for our kitchens for 10 by 6 L-shaped kitchen will start around 2.5 lakhs. With this is a completely European product. You're talking of
Mhm.
10 years warranty and getting the best quality around the world at
Mhm.
2.5 lakhs, which is a 5 to 10% increase, compared to a carpenter. So we are able to penetrate into that market. We have a range of customers starting from a range of 2.5, but the average sell for our kitchen goes around 5 lakhs.
Right. Understood. Understood. So I believe we have addressed all the question, and that was one of the question that we wanted to
Mhm.
understand, because definitely we'll be getting requirements from those locations as well once we start promoting. So all the business seekers who have joined with us, or who will be going through this session, the webinar, please get in touch with us on the number mentioned over here. It's 9844443200. You can also write us a mail on this given mail ID. It's business@franchisebazar.com. And if you're interested and looking out for more opportunities, you can visit our website, franchisebazar.com. There you would be able to find a couple of more opportunities which is there on our website. So we'll move to the next slide. Thank you, Emeka, for being part of this session, and giving an overview into Wurfel and what it offers to the franchisee partner. So it was great having you for this session. Anything that you would want to convey to the business seekers who are interested, and would want to move ahead with this opportunity?
Absolutely. So I just want to give out a few last words before I go.
Yeah,
I know this was a brief presentation. Also,
yeah.
thank you, Kritika, for having me on board. I just wanted to, tell you that this is just the tip of the iceberg. And we have an enrollment process which we follow. If you find yourself really interested, please get in touch with the Franchise Bazaar team, and we'll be able to take you through the entire process, right? So from the enrollment and how we start, we talk about in depth about the commercials, what are the kind of revenues you can look at, what kind of the margins, what kind of how much ROI and things like that. So we'll get more in details about everything if you're really interested and want to take things forward.
Definitely, we'll get in touch with on a one-on-one basis with all of you who are interested, and like we said, we'll discuss in detail. This is the brief about about the franchisee model. There's a lot of details into it, so we'll get in touch with you and we'll brief you on the same. And you all stay connected with us. We are coming up with more opportunities in the upcoming week, so there are 32 opportunities lined up for you out of the 100 opportunities. And also to stay updated on the upcoming opportunities, you can follow us, like us, and share us on our social media platform, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, so that you're updated on the upcoming opportunity. And thank you, Emeka, once again for being part of this session. And thank you to all the viewers, who joined with us and who have shared the details.
Thank you.
See you for the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kritika. Bye bye.